Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tuplex. I want to start off, well, I'm going to explain what you see here because this is different than how we left the last episode. I'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to start with addressing some feedback that I've gotten from viewers. A couple people have mentioned that the game sounds were too loud. Sorry about that. I have made an adjustment to record at a lower level. Now, at the time I got this feedback, I already have a few episodes already mixed and uploaded, so those won't be affected, but I also have some episodes that I've already recorded but haven't edited yet. So when I go to edit those, I will see if I can bring down the volume in my editing software. I mean, I'm sure that I can, and I'll do that. But I try to keep it as... I try to keep my editing process as low effort as possible because I don't really enjoy that part of it. So from this episode forward, I'm just going to record the game sounds at a lower level so that I don't have to worry about it later. And I also do what's called ducking, to where when I'm editing, I set it so that the game audio will automatically be reduced in volume a little bit when there's voice going on, so that way I can have the level a little bit higher than you might hear in other Let's Plays. But hopefully when I'm talking, the noise will go down a bit so that you can still hear me. But in any case, thanks a lot for the feedback. I did turn the sounds down. Hopefully this is better. Also, I got turned on to another mod called Max Rate Calculator, which I've installed here. What you do is you hit Control N. Whoops. Just Control N, and that gives you a little selector tool, and then you can select, one entity, for example, and this will tell you the input rate and the output rate per machine. You can also see things like what's this, transport belts. Oh, okay, so this will tell you like how many belts you need to move things. You can do a lot with it. I haven't fully explored it yet, but it looks pretty handy. And of course you can also select multiple machines and it'll give you the combined rate, and there's also a calculator there. So I think this will be handy, and I can probably use this a lot instead of Hellmod. I don't really like Hellmod. I mean, I like what it does, but it's kind of difficult to use in my opinion. So if I do this, for example, let's look at transport belts. Yeah, so this is telling me that I need 2 1/4 transport belts per machine. And that's pretty much what, for full output, and that's pretty much what I'm seeing here, because these last two are not able to place onto the belts. So if we were to go to red belts, then 1 1/4 would work. So looks like a pretty handy tool. All right, so back to this. So here's the thing. Once I got this set up, we had a couple tanks down here and a clarifier. And as I was sitting here watching it run for a while, I was noticing that this central pipe down the middle was getting backed up quite a bit, and a lot of the machines were not working. It just wasn't flowing quickly enough. So I put a pump here at the end of the pipe to help draw it out faster, and that helped a lot, but it was still, the machines up here were still getting backed up by quite a bit. So I made another change. I went down roughly halfway, and I split the pipe. So all these machines now are exiting to the south and going into these 2 tanks. And then each one of these tanks now has an overflow valve and a clarifier. And that is because just 1 or 2 clarifier from all the tanks, it wasn't fast enough. In fact, let's use my new tool here. 1 clarifier. Oh, why doesn't it give me an input? Oh, that's on belts. There we go. We'll take 160 per second. If we do it per minute, 9,600 per minute. I think I like per second better. And if we look at what we're making here, we're going to be making 637 per second if this runs at full speed. 630 seconds, so if I select 2 of them, 320, 640, right, so 4 of them can handle 640 per second. And what are we making? Was it 620? Just barely 640. Okay. So if the tanks are full, or if the tanks are all at 80% and this is running nonstop, then 4 clarifiers will just barely be able to keep things from backing up. All right, so this goes down, this goes up, and we should be in good shape. All right, so all that being said, I don't want this just running nonstop, because then I'm just wasting all the sulfuric wastewater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit this silo. This will give me 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, this will limit the silo at 10,000 coke pellets, so that this will stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going through all my coal. I mean, I will be getting fuel out of it, but then I'll just be clarifying all this sulfuric wastewater that I'm making. And I'd rather just wait until I actually need it. But I wanted to show you how this runs at full speed, which is why I did that at the beginning. All right, so this is stopped, and then the rest of this will eventually back up as well. Okay, and then up here, just because I had to put these tanks close to this bobmonium patch, I don't really like them to be so close, so I just put in some Mark II mining drills just so I can strip mine this area that's close to here. And then I'm sending this all into a silo, and then from the silo back onto this belt. So these miners probably won't be running for quite a while until these are done and this all gets used up. Now, one silo I think will hold 52,000, if I'm not mistaken. There's 256 slots, each one holding 200. So yeah, so I think it's around 53,000. And if we hover over all these mining drills, we can see the totals, and it's less than that. So this, at least I think it is 8, that's 24, about 38, 40. Yeah, so everything covered by these drills should fit inside that silo. And the Mark II drills run pretty fast. So speaking of that, we did finish the resource monitoring research not too long ago. So I just want to find it. I want to make my research monitor thing so I can start to set that up, or my resource monitor. I just don't know where it is. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is, under production. Okay. So I'll put these patches into the resource monitor. Also, in case you're curious, while I was playing with this, some other research completed. So here's my console, so you can see what research has been completed recently, if you want to pause it and synchronize your own game to it if you need to. Also, I did use a console command, which you can see here, to disable enemy expansion, because I forgot to uncheck that option when I started the game. But I don't want them to expand, so I used the console command to do that, which is game.map_settings.enemy_expansion.enabled equals false. Okay, so full disclosure, I want you guys to know everything that I've done, even if I don't do it all on camera. Okay, and then if we look at production on coke pellets, I mean, we've been idle for a little while here, but you can, even with that idle period, you can see that the production far outstrips our current consumption of coke pellets. So, so I think this will do us well for quite a while. And then the other thing that I'm thinking here is, actually, let me grab my car. We'll take the car up there. The other thing I'm thinking here is that it would probably be a good idea to convert our smelting to use coke pellets as well. And then that way we can send all of the coal over here and send the coke pellets out for consumption. All right, so that's Bobonium, and then I'll get the other ones as well. That way we'll get an alert when they start to run low. All right, yeah, this is starting to fill up fairly quickly. So let's do that next. Let's go ahead and convert our smelting operation to use coke pellets for fuel as well. Pick those drills up. So what we can do is just divert this belt over here. There we go. And then we can pick up all of this. I'd also like to start replacing all these power poles. Okay, now let's figure out how we want to route this up here. I think what I could do is I'll put a splitter here and I'll bring this belt across and then go north right over here. That seems reasonable. Yeah, so I won't need this. I don't have fuel up here, do I? Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to have to change the direction of all these belts. But before I forget, I need to bring fuel up here for my steel making. So I'll just grab a splitter there and put a couple yellow inserters. Looks like they're still running okay on the original stacks that I gave them. All right, so let's start reversing the direction of this. That means I'm going to have to relocate those splitters. So you can't replace a splitter when you're going the other way. Interesting. All right. That's okay. It'll side load there, but that's still going to be more than enough fuel. 1, 2. There we go. Whoops. And then let's bring this across. And actually, now that I think about it, rather than splitting, I'll just make a second belt. Let's go get more belts. Why didn't I pick up my car? I'm not very good with cars. I need to practice more. I should just pick it up when I'm done using it. Where am I going? Okay, I need belts. Sorry for my confusion here, everybody. Belts are down here. Okay, and let's grab inserters too while I'm at it. Okay, and we'll finish this before I run out of fuel for the plate making. All right. All right, and then here, we'll go like this. And we'll put in another loader there. Okay, so now each one of these will have its own dedicated line. There. That ought to do it. And this will start to empty out fairly quickly, and we'll see production pick up here again shortly. There we go. At least until that belt gets full. All right, so nanobot speed is maximum level now, and we'll start to increase the range as well. That'll be good. After that, what research should we do? I want to make sure that I've got, I don't need this yet. Rail signals we definitely need. Mining productivity would be nice to have as well. LTN I don't need yet. Oil burning generator, no. Can I make Mark II generators yet? Yeah, I think I can. I just decided not to do it yet because I don't need the power. But I can make them, which is good. Okay. So yeah, let's do rail signals after nanobot range, and then let's do mining productivity. And that should do levels 1, 2, and 3, I believe, is what we can do with red and green science. Yep. Okay. That'll keep things busy for a while. All right, let's go pick up my car, and then let's tag these other resource patches with the resource monitor. Just have to do these one at a time. And for anyone who's not familiar with the mod, this is from the YARM mod, yet another resource monitor. And this will keep track of your resource patches, and it'll give you an alert when they get low. Okay, so we can pick up all this. All right, and you can see that the bots are getting much quicker now. All right, and while we're here, let's go ahead and put the rest of the drills on Saphirite. Whoops. All right, I'm just going to combine them for now. All right, and then rubite. And then we'll get our coal patch. Okay. There's a delay after you select the resource patch, and that's to allow you to click on other segments. So if you have a patch where there's some separation, you know, like let's say there's a bunch of coal here, and maybe there's a little bit of coal here, that gives you time to select all the different chunks of it to combine them as one resource in the monitor. Okay. So going over to the main base, everything is looking pretty good. One thing we can do to get more iron would be to upgrade to steel furnaces. but it doesn't look like we need it right this moment, so we'll let it go for now. What I would like to do is upgrade all of these assembler machines down here to assembly machine 2s so that we can produce more quickly. So let's work on that next. Gonna need more circuits, of course. All right, and let me grab a bunch of these as well. Should always have a couple stacks of these on hand. In fact, I think I'm storing some, aren't I? No, I'm not. Okay, I should be. All right, so let's stop this. Try again. That's better. The other thing that we can do is craft gears. Right, so last time I talked about making the shopping mall or the supplies production, and I still want to do that, and I want to do it soon because I'm getting tired of all the handcrafting, and I'm sure you guys are too. Okay, well, let's get started here. All right, I need 3 more. Oh, I need iron plate for that. 1, 2, 3. And then 4 more after that. So I want to upgrade, or actually 3 more after that. I need to upgrade those 3 as well. Okay, I should be good. All right, nice. What do we need here? Okay, you're pretty much full. All right, so this will give us a lot of circuits. I think the other thing that we needed to do is over here on these circuits, those need to be upgraded. So we need to change. No, actually, I think those can be level 1s, but we need to put fast inserters over there. Let's go take a look. I know that was in my mind as an upgrade that we needed. I just don't remember the specifics of it now. One thing you have to keep in mind, when you have a standalone machine like this, you can put stuff in there and it'll accumulate a big stack in the output slot. But as soon as you put any inserters on that assembly machine, it won't allow you to do that anymore. It'll always stop before it fills up. So because I had an inserter here, this machine was stopping after it got like 5 or 6 circuits, which is why I put an inserter there on the output. All right, let's get that going. Okay, I don't have any more coke. That needs some coal. And let's put another stack in there. There we go. Okay, grab those circuits, and then I can start, as soon as I get some iron, I can start handcrafting some fast inserters. Speaking of comments, as I was earlier, I got a couple questions in the comments on one of the videos where someone had asked why I'm not using Bob's inserters and belts. And what that's referring to is if you go to the mod settings on startup in Bob's Logistics, there are a few options here for transport belt overhaul, inserter overhaul, and underground distance overhaul. And those change fairly significantly how the belts work. It changes the speeds of the belt for one, so yellow belts will go at 20 per second instead of 13.33333. There's a lower tier of belt, which is white, that goes 10 per second. That's the first logistics research you do. And then, inserters are different as well. I think it makes good changes after I've looked at it a bit, but I didn't use it before because I wanted this to be kind of a standard settings or a generic sort of a Bob's experience. But I think in a future series, I'll probably use those mods because they look really cool. All right, do we need? Oh, you know what? Let's use our tool. All right, so we need 3 per second on the wires, which we can do, and we need 1 per second. So does this show me inserters? Yeah, basic inserters. Okay, so these don't need to be blue. That's good to know. Are those going the right way? Yes, they are. Okay. Okay, yeah, so the only input where we need a faster inserter is for the long one. 1.3. I don't know if this takes stack size into account, though. That would be interesting to know. Okay, so let's try that. That needs 2 per second. Basic inserter needs 1.2. Fast inserter. Okay, so these do need fast inserters to load in copper. So let's do that. See, I'm liking that tool already. And HelmMod can do some of that stuff, but it's a little more tedious to use. I'll still use HelmMod for planning purposes. All right, fast inserters. Let's see, basic inserters, inputs. Okay, so we need fast inserters there. And what about this? Okay, good. And that's, again, that's just to keep things running at the maximum rate. Okay, and I guess I can do all this. I could select this whole thing and it'll tell me what my maximum output is. 4.8 for one section. Yeah, so that's good to know. All right, so this should be able to run at full speed now. Oh, I need to replace those as well. And I could have been using Upgrade Planner for that. Okay. So that looks good. Just checking my list here of other stuff. Biter expansion I talked about. We upgraded science. So, and let's see how that's running actually, now that it's been upgraded. It's still awfully slow. Why is it so slow? I guess that's just as fast as it's going to be because I'm using all these machines and I can see that I have just enough capacity on the labs. You know, almost all the labs are running and there's nothing backing up. So I think this is just as fast as my science setup allows. Oh, yeah, look at that. 4 science packs each times 100. So this is actually 400 science packs of research. That's why it's taking so long. Okay. All right, so in any case, the next step for us, like I mentioned before, would be to set up a mall so that we can get some production of supplies automated. So let's start getting that set up. I do need to move my crawler. I haven't touched that in a while. So let me move the crawler real quick, and then we'll start setting up a basic mall. And we're only going to be able to do the basic things until we get our next level of circuits automated. So maybe it would be better to do that first. Yeah, why don't we do the circuits first? So I'm going to make a bunch of these. I'm going to make a few of those. And then we'll see what else we need. So let's plan that out. Now again, the max rate that I need, I don't know. But if we made it, let's just say that we make it comparable to this. All right, so if I select this whole thing, I can make 9.6, oh, sorry, items per second. I can make 16 per second basic circuit boards. So let's shoot for the second tier circuit boards with at least 16, if not more. Okay, so we'll go to basic electronic board. Oh, the bug got fixed. Awesome. Update your mods, everybody. All right, we're going to use assembly machine 1s. And let's go for 16 on the output. Okay, so we're going to need 16 of those. For solder, that'll be with the solder and the resin plate. Or the solder plate and the resin, pardon me. All right, let's do the electronic components. That's going to be, or actually let's do these. Let's try to keep this in a chain. So for the solder plate, I'm just going to use metal mixing furnace. So we need 6 of those. For the resin, using the raw wood recipe, 4. Okay, let's use assembly machine 2s. Then we need 3. Yeah, we'll use assembly machine 1s because we need 4 making the solder. So this way it'll be like a 1-to-1 insertion, and that'll line up nice. There we go. All right, so that takes care of that ingredient, right? Next would be the electronic components. 32. Wow. Okay, so that's 2-to-1 on those. For tinned copper wire, only 3 of those. And the copper cable, that'll be essentially 1-to-1. So this I'll probably increase to 4 just to keep that 1-to-1. And then we're going to need carbon as well. Okay, and all right, so the carbon we're going to make in liquefier 1s. And what I'm thinking about is for the coke. I'm just thinking whether I want to do this, since I'm already getting a lot of sulfuric wastewater from our fuel production. I think I'm just going to do this the simpler way and use the furnace method. Okay, so we'll do this with, and I'm going to do it with metal mixing furnaces. And I'll explain why in a bit. And then on the crushed coal, if we use ore crushers, we need 4 of those. Okay, and then the CO2 we will also make from coal, and that's going to be in liquefier 1s. And I think that's everything. And so this will consume all of the basic circuits when it's running at full speed. So maybe we should design it for less, 2, 4, 6, 8. Maybe I should design it for lower capacity so that it doesn't consume everything. No, we'll leave it like that. Okay. So I think we know what we need to do. Now, in regards to the coal and the coke and the carbon, one practice I saw that I liked, that I saw Nilaus do, was to set up a separate area to make coke and carbon from coal, and then he had a set of belts that put those on the bus, because I think some of those are going to be used in other places as well. So let me right click on coke and let's see what we use that for. Okay, so solid fuel, carbon, coke pellet. All right, yeah, so we need it for processed iron. All right, and some other things. So, but then again, we're not going to be doing that here. We're going to be doing that off-site. All right. Yeah, so here I'm just going to do it locally. I'm not going to put coke in. Well, did I check carbon? Yeah, let's check carbon. I might need carbon elsewhere. You know, for these smelting recipes, I'm not going to be doing that here in the starter base, so I don't need to put that on the bus necessarily. I just want to see what other electronics and so forth might need carbon. Carbon monoxide. Okay, we might need that. Batteries might be needed. No, that's battery 2s, so maybe not. Titanium, chromate. Okay. Yeah, you know, I don't think I'm going to need this stuff here either. All right, so I'm not going to put it on the bus. I think we'll be okay without it. Famous last words. There we go. All right, nanobots are nice and fast now. Okay, so let's start to lay this out. Now, the circuits themselves, yeah, we're going to have a long chain of stuff here. So let's see if we can kind of just get the general layout of things. So let's say that these are the circuits. And feeding directly into the circuits, we need the tinned, or the solder, the electronic components. All right, and that's going to have to be a 2-to-1. So that the electric components should be direct inserted like this without any belt getting involved. Now, feeding 4 machines into 16, to me that seems to indicate that we use a belt for that. Maybe the belt will go this way. All right, yeah, so let's say, or no, let's make this the output, and let's say that this is supplying, what was that for? Yeah, let's say that this is supplying the solder. And excuse my pronunciation of solder. I know that, at least where I'm from, that's how it's pronounced, solder. The L doesn't enter into it. So if in your country you say it differently, if you say it as solder, then you know what I mean. And then what's the other primary ingredient? Okay, and then the basic circuit boards. So those can come in on a belt. They could come in on the bottom side of the belt. This can insert onto this side. I don't have any with me. And then the electronic components we can make there. So I think this will be the general layout. And then the electronic components, those need the tinned wire and the carbon. So that would need to go up above here. Tinned wire, we're going to have only 3 of those. So that'll be, we'll want that to be on a belt. So it can feed the whole line. Okay, and then there's going to be 8 machines making carbon. So the carbon will want to be on a belt as well. Somewhere up here. And yeah, I think I'm going to need to move all this down. All right, so in any case, I think we're going to need to make the carbon first. All right, so up top is going to be carbon, and then we'll make the tinned wire. That stuff will feed into the electronic components. And then that'll go into the assembly machines. And then down here, we'll make the solder and bring in the basic circuit boards. So I think that'll be the general layout. We'll build that up in the next episode. And then once we have that, then I will build the mall, because I want to have these circuits feed into the mall. Otherwise, we won't be able to make a lot of the stuff that I want to make. So that's the reason for doing this first. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.